golf and I played on the hilliest golf course ever.
Giggs. G-I-G-G-S. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at? It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'm a cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy car cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Station, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. It's episode number 33. We are, as always, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Ace Podcast Nation, as you know by now, home to many great shows and series, featuring top guests, expert analysts, and more. Give us a follow on social media. Please do subscribe to that YouTube channel. Really, really helps us out. And, of course, drop a like, a comment, all that good stuff. Helps us move up the algorithm on the old YouTube. But if you prefer your podcasts in audio form, then you can get this series and all the other content produced by Ace Podcast Nation in the audio on Spotify, Apple, and stuff like that through the Sports Social Podcast Network. So please do check them out. But as we wait for a couple of the stragglers, the latecomers, let's have a little Super 6 Prediction League update as we're near into the almost penultimate round now on Saturday. But this week, we had 3 people joint top for the round. Well done to Franco Rankmore, Richard Davis, and Si. Yeah, boy. Top of the league. There you go. Saturday is the penultimate round.
Wait. That top score didn't even reach double figures. Tell the viewers that.
It don't matter, does it? Don't matter.
Just let you know.
Out of everybody who played.
It wasn't a massive amount, was it? It was like three joint top winners. It's not, you can't really.
But, if you win the league, does it matter if you win it by goal difference or if you win it by 20 points?
Tell you what, will it be able to put another notch on your number and you'll be closer to one of my stats?
Don't, come on now. You're just bitter.
Oh, Tottenham have got a penalty.
Oof. Here we go. Rhodri had 2 points last Saturday, by the way, just saying. Saturday is the penultimate round. You've got 2 more rounds to go.
Who was it? United.
Yeah, I got done by 2 last-minute goals, I think, which was brutal.
Harry Kane stepping up. He is giving the little, you know where he's going to go. But just can the keeper save it?
Will he score? That's the thing.
Oh, what then?
Well, I want to know what that bet was that you had at the start of the season with Geraint Cole for one of your hats, wasn't it? I think it was one of your hats or something like that. I can't remember what the bet was though. Whether it was like, I think you said Harry Kane wouldn't get double figures or something. I can't remember what it was. Or he wouldn't get a certain amount. We'll have to have a look, but I'll have to go back and have a look what the bet was.
Yeah, but at the time he was minging, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, you had that little rant on him, didn't you? And said he's down tools. If you call him a top professional?
Yeah, he looked like he had.
Yeah, well, he did. He did down tools. 100%.
Fair play to him. He's proving me wrong.
New manager, mate. New manager.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you can see, I'm joined by Mr. Rhodri Giggs, ex Salford City FC United. How are you, my friend? You good? Yeah.
Yeah, good mate. Like I said, my calf's a bit tender now. We've been calves or so.
What was there? You played football, didn't you, on Sunday? Did you play after? Yeah.
Played football on Sunday. I went over my ankle though, so
Didn't go too well.
no, it's so, and that's not just out on that golf course I've just played. It's the hilliest golf course. It was only like 10 minutes from my house as well, but it was a nice course, but it was very, very hilly, and my calves are throbbing and my ankles are sore.
So how did you get on in the football? Did you make
we
it most of it?
We won about 8-2, 7-2, something like that.
How long did you get through before you done your ankle?
65, 70 minutes.
That's not too bad at your age, is it?
No.
So do you reckon is that the comeback now, or is that the swan song?
No. We've got loads of games this season. Our last game of the season is end of September in Ibiza.
Oh, wow. See, just beautiful that is, isn't it? Gonna be loving that.
Yeah, big shout out to Jet2 Holidays.
Yeah, nice one.
Sponsor.
Gotta love that, haven't you? Finished the season in Ibiza.
Yeah. Cafe Mambo.
Nice. I like it. So I'm assuming Harry Kane scored, did he, or what?
Yeah, he scored, yeah. Sent him the wrong way.
Do you know what, right? If I was Spurs, I would still sell him and keep Son. He'd be the one I'd want to keep more than.
Yeah, he's gonna go now.
Harry Kane.
United
need a striker.
Yeah.
I imagine the money he'd get paid at United as well, because they're not going to be in the Champions League. The wages they're going to be throwing around will be insanity for the top players. But it'd be interesting to see. We'll get onto that a bit later. I want to talk about on the subject of strikers. Man City have looked awesome this year, but they've sometimes lacked that number 9, that Aguero or a Van Nistelrooy type or a Harry Kane type, who obviously they tried to sign in the summer. They've signed Haaland for the end of the season. Obviously, he is the most highly rated young striker available, maybe outside of Mbappe. But I mean, if you gave me the choice for a out-and-out number 9, I'm taking Haaland every time. His record is insane.
You're saying that, but they're still the top goal scorers in the league.
Is he the missing piece in terms of someone who can help them dominate? Because they haven't been able to get over the line in the Champions League.
He's the missing link for the semi-finals in the Champions League. Not necessarily the missing link in the Premier League. They've shown they don't need that last year and this year. But for them top games and when they're coming short, that's what they need, and that's what they've gone and got. So I fully expect them to get to the final next year, and it's anyone's, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree to a certain extent, and I certainly agree that they don't necessarily need him in the domestic games. However, Man City also were they 11 points clear at one point. If they had a striker, would they have dropped those 11 points? Obviously, Liverpool went on a bit of an unbelievable run, but it still looks like Man City are going to get over the line. You add in Haaland, he doesn't miss those chances against Real Madrid, or certainly the amount that they missed in that first leg in the first half. Yeah. He's going to put at least a couple away of them. So that's quite ominous. Do you think Liverpool need to react to that signing, or do you think they just concentrate on their own stuff? Obviously, they signed Ruben Diaz in January. But do you think they need to have any reaction themselves? They need to reassess their squad to make sure they don't get left behind?
Liverpool?
Yeah, just in terms of it's a big signing.
They've freshened up mid-season, haven't they, with Diaz? Depends who goes. Does Mane go? Does Salah go? These big shouts of Mane.
Is Salah out of contract?
Salah's got contract talks going. Bayern Munich just coming for Mane, or inquiring about Mane. So it depends who stays and who goes, isn't it?
Rob Boyle's asked a really interesting question, and it is, I think, a really interesting one. He says, "Do you think that Son of Spurs, if he wasn't Asian, would he have been picked up by Barca, City, Bayern, so one of the big teams around Europe if he wasn't Asian?" It's an interesting question, I think.
No. When you're at a place like Tottenham and the kind of character he is, Tottenham's look at the stadium. Look at the training ground. It's in London. Yeah, so no, I'm not surprised at that at all. I don't know. It's not Barcelona, Real Madrid of old, is it?
No, I give you that.
The Premier League is the place to play.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the domination of the Premier League in Europe over the last couple of seasons, it's insane, isn't it?
Well, over the last 15 years, really.
Yeah, one of the sort of big 5 clubs, if you like, have always been up
in a semi-final or two teams, English teams in the final. So, it's a good 15 years, really.
Real Madrid. I asked them.
Yes, they haven't won it all the time, but Liverpool, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Liverpool again.
Leicester got to a quarter final as well, didn't they? I think quarter final. So I mean, yeah,
Arsenal
there was always
the final against Barcelona back in the day. So yeah,
interesting. I asked a question on the Instagram post when promoting tonight's show about do you think Madrid or Man City for the Champions League? Liverpool for the Champions League.
Everyone's saying like, oh, it's Liverpool. It's not easy, Real Madrid, Champions League, final. Come on. Big
you just got to look at the teams they've beaten.
Benzema. And they have a young, it's not going to be easy. Liverpool are going to be favourites, don't get me wrong, but it's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination.
I think we see a similar game to what we've seen in Madrid's previous couple of games in Europe, where their first half is going to be very much, Liverpool on top, a lot of possession for Liverpool. They'll probably have a few chances, and then Madrid will grow into it. And I think Liverpool have to learn from what Man City did, and they have to, when those chances come, whether they come early on or late on, they've got to take them.
Well, this is the problem. We're saying with if they had Haaland, that option, but Liverpool have got multiple options.
Yeah,
they didn't even Salah didn't even come on really till the last 20 minutes, and they were already 2-1 up. So they've got Diaz, Firmino didn't come on. They've got Origi when they really need a goal, and he'll come in and pop a goal. So they've only got 6 choices to pick from. So.
And they've stuttered a little bit in the league last couple of games. They dropped points, didn't they? And then they beat Villa with a bit of luck. But that's what happens when you're competing on all fronts and you've got game, and they're such high priority games. Something's got to give most of the time. There's a reason why no one's ever won the quadruple, because it's not easy to do. No. You're playing, and the Premier League now as well is
even when I look back,
competitive as ever.
Yeah, even when I look back at the treble, it could have easily that penalty, the last minute, 89th minute, Dennis Bergkamp, he scores that, it's all over. So
yeah,
Bayern Munich in the file, in the post, in the bar, constant pressure. So it could have gone easy. Juventus away 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes with that team that they were playing against, then come back and win it 3-2. It was just you got to have a little bit of luck.
Oh, 100%.
And City didn't have that luck. Real Madrid had that little bit of luck when scoring, and 30 seconds later scoring straight again.
And in fairness, I don't think Liverpool can complain about lack of luck this year. Liverpool, for me, I think they've been the best team in England this year. But what I would say is I also think they've had a bit of fortune from VAR at times, and they've had a bit of fortune from refereeing decisions, things like that. They have had a bit of luck along the way.
An Arsenal player has just been sent off, Gabriel.
Was it debatable?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. Oh no, it's not Gabriel. It's Holding. They've been strong. They've been strong in the tackle, all of them really, on Son. But he's been going over the top. Well, let me have a look at it.
So I came up with a jumpsuit, not too fitted.
Oh yeah, he's forearm. He's elbowed him right in the jaw. As they're running, someone's played Dyer's played a diagonal ball, and he's running across him, and he's come across him and gone bang, and elbowed him right in his jaw. It's blatant as well. He's blatant because he's watching him as he's doing it.
Yeah, you got to go. What did you think? Did you see the Daniel James sending off last night?
Yeah, it's just over enthusiastic, isn't it? Just to follow through. It's nasty. When you see it, it's nasty.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
But that's the second time in a couple of weeks Leeds have had someone sent out.
Just too overexcited, aren't they?
Yeah, they're trying so hard to what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're desperately trying to stay up, and they're trying to battle for everything and just getting a bit overzealous. And look, it's a difficult one, but you just can't do that in this day and age.
Discipline, you've got no chance with 10 players. You've got to keep your discipline.
Do you know? I can't remember who it was. Someone was on the radio today. I forget who. I don't know who it was. It was only briefly. I listened to it, but they were saying that they thought Leeds should have stuck with Beisler, and basically said,
"Who? Bielsa?
Bielsa. Sorry, mate. Come on, come on. Bielsa. Yeah, they said he should have stuck. Leeds should have stuck with him. He's got them where they were, but they said most of all, the reason he thought they should have stuck with him was the players loved him, and the players would go through a brick wall. I think it was Dean Saunders, and he said when he listens to the new Leeds manager speak, he finds it. He said, "I don't want to be rude," and then went and proceeded to spend a couple of minutes saying how this guy didn't have a clue. But it's difficult.
I don't know what it is with the American accent. It just doesn't go with football.
Yeah. Well, everywhere it's like you just assume, don't you? It's like a stereotype, I suppose, from back over the years. But
it is. I don't know why, but when I hear American
talking about soccer,
yeah, but then Pulisic come on afterwards, and hopefully the player as well. Yeah. And they just don't sound right talking about football.
Yeah, but the Leeds, like a few weeks back, I thought there was no way they were going to go down, and now
it looks like Birmingham and Everton now are going to stay out, and Leeds are in real trouble.
I've criticised Frank Lampard. I still do not believe he was the right man for the Everton job, but what he's done in the last couple of weeks is he's just somehow got them together, got the players playing, and just ground out a couple of results, which looks like it could keep him up. And I think deserves credit for that, mate, you know?
Yeah, I think the fans as well got a big credit, because that got some part that the atmosphere that's got to help the players, and going into the game, all the fans outside the ground, all the positivity and the noise, and it's got to help them, and that's what's brought them through all them home games with the winning at home.
It's interesting though, isn't it? Like Everton just looked doomed, and then it shows though. And I think particularly
the games, mate. We looked at the fixture list, and there was no way he was going to beat them, and then they've gone and beat United, beat Chelsea, and then drew against Leicester. That's 7 points. Oh, Harry Kane scored another 2-0.
Well. Arsenal, if they'd won this, they'd have had top 4. And I got to say, start of the season, I did not see that Arsenal would be up there. They were down the bottom. I think that they were even bottom of the league. No, I'm not sure about that. But they were certainly down the bottom at the start of the year. And we had discussions about, we weren't saying that he should be sacked, but we were saying, will Arsenal stick with him? Because the fans were getting a bit frustrated with Arteta, and you had the Aubameyang stuff. And look, he dealt with the Aubameyang stuff so well, particularly for a young manager, but like any manager, I thought he dealt with this so well. And he seems to have got rid of him and galvanised all those players. And look, it sounds like I haven't got it on, but it sounds like they're having a bit of a bad night tonight. But I think the job he's done this season is incredible. Like, I think it's really good. And I think I don't think he'd win it, but I think certainly in the conversation for Manager of the Year in the Premier League. Who do you think manager of the year in the Premier League? Do you think it's Pep or Klopp automatically? Or is there anyone else up there? Like the Brentford Brighton manager?
You've got to throw David Miles in there.
Yeah, David Moyes. What about Graham Potter?
No.
Taking Brighton to 9th?
No. There's better, Well, Moyes keeping them in where they're going to finish 7th or 8th, semi-final of the Europa League.
Yeah. Who else you got? And then you got, I mean, I'm trying to look if there's anyone who's stayed up. I mean, Brentford manager maybe, but
Brentford possibly. Eddie Howe's turned Newcastle around, but you've got to look at Klopp and Guardiola as well.
I think they probably take it, don't they? Like
yeah,
to me,
yeah.
If Liverpool win 3 out of the 4 trophies, say, like Klopp's going to get it, isn't he? Probably rightly so in many ways. You know, if you go and win the cup treble and finish 2nd in the Premier League, it's a pretty good season, all in all, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't expect too much more than that. People do not want to give Eddie Howe the credit he deserves. I see on social media so much people moaning about the money he spent and this and that. And I think there's a bit of jealousy there, isn't there? Because
you've still got to gel them players. You know, look at United, multi-talented, money everywhere, but they can't play. They don't have the work. And you still got to install, an ethos or a philosophy of playing and execute that. And they've done that pretty well with players coming in through January, which in mid-season, which is never easy. I like Eddie Howe. I've always liked Eddie Howe, so I think he'll do a good job. But he's under pressure to start next season because if he had a bad start, then he could just lose his job straight away because they're not going to mess about and they want to move quickly.
Yeah, they ain't going to wait, are they?
No.
Like for him to spend too much time building a squad. They're going to say, here's the money, build, get the players in and get going.
Yeah.
It's that's going to be a fascinating thing to kind of follow and watch. Do you know, you mentioned United. As we know, you're a United fan. You used to be a season ticket holder and stuff like that, like home and away. How did you feel watching that Brighton game? Because Brighton's not like, look, I know every now and again United used to lose heavily to someone out of the blue. Like I always remember on New Year's Day years ago, they lost like 4-1 to QPR.
It was on par with Watford. We've seen it again. We've seen it before this season. They got beat 4-0 off Watford at Watford, and Watford have been relegated. So Brighton are a good team. So
who do you blame?
People say, the manager, Ralph Rangnick. It's not the Ralph Rangnick, it's the players. There's the same players that keep on performing like that, not working, letting people cross too easily. It's just embarrassing now. It's just get the season over. I'm dreading Crystal Palace because that's the difficult place to go, and they'll probably beat us. So,
would you play the kids?
The quicker get the season over, the better.
Would you play the kids on Saturday?
No.
I do think a few of the players.
It's too much of a difficult place to go. That to play kids.
But there's nothing on it.
You may get away with 1 or 2, but no, you could ruin the careers and confidence. No, you only put kids in when you're 3-0 up or you're playing at home or not away at Crystal Palace.
I just think some of those players in that first team, some of them need like a real clear message that they're done because
they don't. Most of them are done anyway.
But mate, they've got away with it for so long. So how many managers have they seen off now?
Yeah, but half the team are going now, and it's going to be a big change. So
yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see. But there's change. See it happening.
I watched Ronaldo, and he was just laughing, but not like laughing like he doesn't care. He was just exasperated at like how these players.
What the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, it was like, what is going on here? Like, what are these players up to? I feel quite sorry for him, mate, because in some ways, like, he's got a hard life, and but like he's there, 37, he's going flipping, scored however many goals he scored, pretty much single-handedly kept United in the top 10, and he's looking around him and he's got these players who are international footballers. I know, like all these different footballers, like Lingard or Maguire or Wan-Bissaka, whoever, they all get criticised as if they're park players. These people, all the players in that squad, have played international football pretty much, apart from the kids. They've all played international football. Most of them have played regularly at international football. Most of them have played at tournaments. They've played at the highest level of the game. And this season, some of them for a couple of seasons, have just, it's got to be down to mentality and attitude. And it's got to be down to just not giving a shit. And I just think, if you're a professional footballer and you're getting paid the amount you're getting paid, you're playing for the biggest club in the UK or in the world, and you cannot motivate yourself to concentrate and just do your job. Like, where's the pride in just doing your job? Never mind what Tom, Dick and Harry's doing over there. How about my job is A, so this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make sure I do my job. I just cannot get my head around it at all.
Mate, I left 37 games of it, even more, so I'm done with it. It's just like, it's next chapter, move on.
All right, and we'll move to another side of it. Obviously, they're going to bring in numerous players. They've been linked with De Jong very heavily today again. I don't think Barcelona want him to go, but I think he might fall into one of those players who they don't necessarily want to sell, but they might sell if the price is right, etc., etc. Ten Hag knows him well. Do you think he is a good fit?
Yeah.
For what 100%. United need?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
What about, what's his head on loan at Everton? I've forgotten his name. Van der Beek.
Yeah.
Do you think he gets another go?
Yeah.
Then they've been linked with an array of strikers. The one from Napoli is one of them. Is there a particular striker that you think is realistic? Because my thing, like, they were never going to be able to get Haaland now. Like, they might have, if they were competing, but they're not. So it's like any striker in particular. I saw they were linked loosely with Michail Antonio from West Ham. Some sort of double deal, but you don't think he's good enough?
No. Maybe Lewandowski.
My only thing with that is, if like Lewandowski, he is coming to the end of his career, isn't he? And if you're going to keep Ronaldo,
to his career, he's got to score 40 goals. I'll take him.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair. But then if you keep Ronaldo as well, do you want two 40-year-old strikers? You want one of them to be young, I know, but you know what I mean.
38, he wants 30, what, 34, 35?
Yeah, but like, they're coming towards the end of their careers. Like, would you want two of them?
You want world-class quality players in who have got good, what's the word?
Attitude, mentality.
Good attitude, good personalities, but most of all, winners and one thing. Lewandowski's done that. He scores goals. He guarantees goals. You're not bringing wrongers in. Yes, it's only a short fix, but he is quality at the highest order. That's what we need to be bringing in.
Yeah,
will he want to come now because he's coming to the end of his career and they're not in the Champions League? I don't know, but no, that's the type of quality that we need to be bringing in.
Yeah, a lot of the players I've seen them linked with, they're like young players, and they from around Europe. And I think generally, that's the route that they should go down. They need to go down because they've got to rebuild from pretty much scratch. But you never know. I just think the amount of money they're going to have to spend, I think they're going to have to do a bit of, not wheeling and dealing, but they might have to bring in a couple of experienced players. They can't just sign all the best young talent in Europe because the Glazers won't put that money out. Like if they want Declan Rice, just for instance, that's going to be the best part of 100 million. If they want De Jong from Barca, is going to be the best part of 70, 80 million. So if you sign in that type of player, you sign 3 or 4 of them, that's your budget gone. And I
understand that, but you've got players like Wan-Bissaka, he's got to go. There's 30 million. Even if you pay 50 million for him, you take 30 million. There's players that are going to have to go. Rashford, he's worth 60, 50 million.
I think they give him another season. I do.
So, but the manager, I agree, but I'm just saying it. If there's players there that still can be sold for a price.
Yeah, no, I take that. Do you know the only way I see Rashford?
That's what you've got to think about doing. You've got to think, right, who's going? Who do we need to get rid of? Who's going to take him? Who else is there? You know, Luke Shaw, maybe Tellez, Dalot. You know, there's all kinds of shit that you can get rid of. Bailly, Lindelof, or Maguire go. You know, you get 40, 50 million for him. So
yeah, no, I accept that.
There's a lot of money there as well that you can sell. So yes, it's 170 million, but if you get 80, 90 million back,
you've got a bit more. I suppose the other thing, the only way I see Rashford going is if he's one of the players that Ranić has earmarked as having a bad attitude. And unfortunately, the Marcus Rashford that we've seen on the pitch in the last 3 months isn't the same Rashford attitude-wise, work rate-wise that we've seen in previous years. So
I think you'll find out after pre-season training when the manager sees him in a few games and then decides then if he needs to have a good look at him and have a good chat with him and then see it for himself, and then he'll probably decide, no, we need to get rid of him and bring someone else in.
Yeah, and I mean, even like I said a couple of weeks ago, that I felt like Ranić had come in just to be able to almost make a list of who's got to go, who's got a bad attitude, etc., who's a bad apple. Yeah. But like any manager coming in, doesn't matter who it is, even if it was Ralph Rangnick's twin brother, any manager coming in is still going to want to have a look for himself at the players who are still in contract, particularly people like Rashford who've done so well before. You know, they want to know why. So even if someone has been earmarked as, you know, maybe having a poor attitude, I think there's still, the manager's still going to have a little look at them. I would have thought. It's going to be a fascinating transfer window, mate, in the summer, because there's so many clubs like going to be spending money or getting rid of players or need players. Like Spurs are going to, I think, probably sell a couple, bring a couple in. You got the same with Arsenal. Man City have signed Haaland, but they've been linked with Pogba as well on a free. Chelsea, what's going to happen with them? Are they going to be able to sign anyone? Will the Spanish clubs get involved? And then, of course, you've got Newcastle, who've got billions to spend. So, and then United have got losing how many players in the summer? 10 or something?
I reckon there's a few going. There's a few.
So that's what I mean. It's going to be a busy transfer window. Leslie says he's got 400 quid on Leeds to go down at 12-1. That's a good bet.
Martial, there's another 40 million.
How has he done on loan? Do you know?
Who cares? He needs to get rid of him.
If he scored a load of goals, you could get more from him.
He hasn't. No, he hasn't.
Yeah, there you go. Will says Steve White and Carl Dale, two almost 40-year-old strikers, did very well together for Cardiff back in the day. So I mean, I'm not saying
you're not talking about scrub. You talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, or you're talking someone who just come off the back of scoring 40 goals.
Oh yeah, 100%. My question was more: do you think if they keep Ronaldo, are they better off getting in a younger striker who can learn off him and then take over from him? Rather than putting your eggs into another world-class striker.
It's difficult. It's difficult, but that's why your Manchester United managers paid very well to make them decisions.
To make them decisions, mate. The playoffs in the Championship were set. Finally, Middlesbrough missed out. Where's Leslie? Because what did he say to you last week? What was his attitude about? It was like, I'll shut his mouth. Middlesbrough will win.
Oh, so what about you? What about you though? Oh, don't know. You know, Preston. Oh,
no. I said is they haven't got anything to play for, which they didn't. But they still outplayed Middlesbrough.
They heard that and felt out their side.
Question our professionalism. Absolutely. Forest dropped into fourth through a last-minute goal. I think.
Well, that's just purely celebrating the goal that just scored. That.
Yeah. It was weird. It was a weird one, wasn't it? I didn't know.
Seconds later.
See the announcement 2 hours ago that The EFL has confirmed that VAR will be used at the playoff final at Wembley, and potentially in the Championship next year.
They could have used that last night at the FA Youth Cup final.
I saw the highlights of that.
Do you see the penalty?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was I could tell that when I was
straight away. I said that was outside the box.
It was definitely. It looked outside then, but obviously you're waiting for a replay, but the one doesn't come.
Do you go and watch it? You went there, do you?
I went, yeah.
What's that boy like who scored 2? The GNU show, is it?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, look,
big strong boy, isn't he?
Yeah, quick.
Does he play off the left or does he play up front?
No, he plays off the left.
Looks like he could potentially be a striker though. The way he finished. Yeah, no,
they come they coming off the left or the right. These kind of strikers now, though, don't they?
Yeah, they cut inside, don't they? And he looked good though.
It looks like he's right-footed, so and then he played on the left. So
was it a good game to watch?
Ooh, that was nasty. That on Son. Yeah, he had a good game. Yeah, but Nottingham Forest unlucky to be fair because they played well first half, and they were the better team. Then United were a better team second half. But that penalty was 1-1, and then they got within that penalty, and they scored late on.
Yeah, he didn't even look like he was in the box, to be fair.
No, it was poor. But he wasn't sure, the referee, so he's not sure. You can't give it. But he's blew the whistle, looked at the linesman, looked at the penalty spot, looked at the linesman again, and went penalty.
Yeah, because the linesman was just like gone. That. I don't know. The
linesman's like that.
I ain't got a clue, mate. But it was, it was a definite foul. But it was like,
it was a definite foul. But
what are you going to do, innit?
But he's been stitched up there, the kid. He was only a 15-year-old kid, that kid there. He's the
one that gave away the free kick?
He gave away the free kick, but it was a bad pass to give it him there. Bad pass to give it him there. Put him right under pressure.
70,000 people watching the FA Youth Cup.
67,400 and some record crowd for FA Youth Cup.
Unbelievable.
The crowd nearest to it was Arsenal and someone else in, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, that is awesome. I like that.
They're only £1 tickets. They were giving them out. They were like selling them for £1.
Why not, mate? I've always enjoyed going to watch like the reserves or the 23s or the youth teams.
Yeah, so you get a young kid behind you with a frigging horn blowing it off.
Ah, mate, shove that down his throat. Was he right behind you, blowing his vuvuzela?
He was literally right behind me. It was one of them. You remember them South African games?
Yeah, the vuvuzelas.
Oh, felt like ramming it in his mouth.
Oh, mate, they do. They used to bug me on TV. I'm not sure how I'd cope with someone sat behind me. With
about 6, 7, the kid. He was going for the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. It was doing me head in.
Did you feel like telling his dad to like...
Nah, just
turn it off.
Just
turn it off. Put it away.
Fit on my gum shield and
sucked it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, Forest dropped down to 4th. So they'll now play. They now play Sheffield United. Huddersfield play Luton, I think. I think those 4 teams are the 4 that have been the best 4 throughout the season, outside of the top 2.
Yeah.
As Campbell says, the league table does not lie.
Yeah.
And Middlesbrough, unfortunately,
I think the Forest have been out of it because they had such a good cut run. So,
well, what they did, and there's something to be said in there. A good cup run can kickstart your season. They went on a good cup run, and then when they were out of the cup, they took that form into the Championship.
Yeah, it can
and they shot up the league.
Yeah, it can work both ways, that, mate. Boreham Wood had the same thing, but they've just gone straight down the league.
Is it?
In the National League, when Boreham Wood beating Championship sides, but not just in one round, in a 2 or 3 rounds, and then they're like 3rd or 2nd in the league, and now they're like 8th or 9th because we had so many games to catch up.
No, they just couldn't get themselves.
It's probably different there because it's non-league and they haven't got the resources and
Anyone you fancy there from those 4 though for the playoffs? Are there any team you think stands out?
Mate, I do fancy Forest, but an outside bet of Luton.
Yeah, I'd like Luton to go up, I think, but I got a few mates who are Forest fans. Huddersfield, mate, is the team that nobody talks about as contenders. It's all or Sheffield United got the experience. Forester, they deserve to be back in the big time. Luton is the underdog. Huddersfield are the best team in the moment.
Huddersfield should be really the favourites because they
finished the highest.
No, they were in the Premier League the 3 or 4
most
years
recently.
ago. Yeah.
They nearly went down last year from the Championship as well, which is
and they've obviously regrouped and they've come back very well.
Got it sorted, mate. So from a Middlesbrough point of view, I think they'll be very disappointed to miss out because at one point I think it was in their own hands and they just dropped points at the wrong time.
And they had a cup run as well. They might have knackered them a bit.
Yeah, a lot of these Championship sides, they haven't got massive squads, outside of some of the richer ones. So when you get a couple of injuries in those cup runs, and then you're into your youngsters, and in the Championship, and I think it's leaked into the Premier League as well now. Like any team on their day can beat any team in the Championship. So like if you're not at it 100%, you will get unstuck. It doesn't matter if you're playing bottom of the league or top of the league. You've got to be at it all the time. Yeah. And it's such a difficult league. Like you look at some of the sides in the Championship who have finished in the bottom half. Like there's some big clubs, some recently Premier League clubs, Stoke, Swansea, Cardiff, Bristol, West Brom, Blackburn, Middlesbrough, Birmingham City, Reading, Peterborough, Derby County obviously gone down. Like there's some big clubs there who have just not been able to get a solid run going. I've given up on Stoke officially now. Every year I say I think this is the year they're finally gonna act like the footballers that everybody thinks they are. I've given up on them. I just think they're going to stay in the Championship forever now. I want to just have a quick chat about League One. Obviously they had the playoffs, didn't they, in the week? So Sunderland beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 on aggregate. Again, two massive clubs, isn't it, for League One football?
That was a late goal as well, didn't they? A late goal. Watch the end of that.
Yeah, 3rd minute of injury time.
Killer.
Yeah, it's brutal, mate. What was I was trying to find the attendance for that. It must have been a big one, I would have thought. It was at Wednesday. Patrick Roberts, last couple of minutes into injury time and it's all gone.
Yeah.
Leslie says Borough's keeper has cost us 10 points this year. And he said they're signing Carl Darlow from Newcastle, apparently. I don't watch enough Middlesbrough to be able to tell you if that's factually correct, but I would trust you with Med if you're watching them week in, week out. Keeper's important, isn't it? And if you've got someone who makes even just one mistake every 4 games, 5 games, costs you a goal if a keeper makes a mistake. And unfortunately, if you've got one which is prone to a mistake, it's very difficult to maintain a high level of results, I think. Who's the worst professional goalkeeper you've ever seen, like at the sort of higher levels, Championship, Premier League or whatever? Anyone spring to mind where you think, how is he a professional footballer? What was the one that played for United and he played like 2 games, the Italian one?
Matt Taibbi.
Yeah,
but that was just a freak thing. That.
Trying to think of. Do you know what? Right, I still can't believe Chelsea paid the best part of 100 million for that. What's his name? Kepa or something?
No, it was 72 million.
Yeah, but didn't it? It might have risen to 100 or whatever it was. But he was only young, mind. He might come back out of it.
Yeah, it's a lot for a keeper. That
he was like 19 or something when they paid that. But he never looked like a keeper. Too much goal for you, ain't it?
I know, yeah. So you what the Eels, mate, were massive.
Big Eels.
Yeah.
Wickham, Gareth Ainsworth doing a tremendous job, and Wickham are through to the playoff final. They made Sunderland. Gareth Ainsworth is really building a solid reputation as a manager for Wickham. He's doing such a good job. even in the Championship last year on a shoestring budget, small squad. And Joe Jacobson again this year. Like, Joe's getting older now, but like, even like when I had him on the My Story thing recently, sort of halfway through the season, he he's still going strong. How he has never got a Welsh cap, they will puzzle me, because he's exceptional. Set pieces are unbelievable. And I think again this year, Joe Jacobson's up there with their top scorers. So have a look. He hasn't got Joe Jacobson assists. That's the whole league, right? I'll find that out now. But Joe Jacobson, Wickham, very dangerous team there. They've got some good players. So if Sunderland are not at it at Wembley, if they're not at it and concentrating, they will really struggle. They have to be at it to beat Wickham, even though you'd expect Sunderland to, Sunderland should win on paper. Yeah. But Wickham is that sort of team which will undo you if you don't work hard enough.
100%. But, Wickham are very consistent in a minute. Tottenham just scored against Son.
Tottenham. So does that mean that Arsenal definitely can't win? Definitely can't.
Arsenal, 36 games, both of them, and Arsenal are a point in front of Tottenham with 2 games to play.
So he'll basically put it in Spurs' hands, won't it? For the top 4 trophy.
I think.
Who have they got on the weekend?
They've got Newcastle, and I think the last game of the season they've got Everton.
So Spurs have still got to play Burnley and Norwich after this, and Arsenal play Newcastle and Everton. Oh, have Arsenal just had another red card?
No. But it's 3-0. Yes, they're a point behind, but they've got Newcastle away, and then Arsenal, and then Newcastle away, and then they've got Everton at home. But Everton might need to win that game to stay up.
That could be really difficult.
Yeah. And who've Tottenham got?
Burnley and Norwich.
Burnley's at home though, isn't it? And
yeah,
Norwich,
I think so.
And Norwich you'd expect to beat them.
Yeah, Norwich are down, aren't they already?
Yeah, you still expect to beat them, even if it's at Norwich.
How much credit does Conte deserve if Tottenham get the Champions League place?
Oh, massive credit, because they were gone, weren't they? They were finished. And even when he got there, they went through some bad patches, but obviously kept working away.
Leslie. Arsenal did have a red card. It was earlier in the game. I thought you meant they just had another one when you put it in the comments. I think Tottenham just looked like their season was just whittling away before Conte's come in. He's got them focused. He's got Kane scoring goals again. I think Tottenham fans would be very disappointed if Conte ends up going in the summer.
Oh, I don't see him going now. I don't see him going. But he's very temperamental, Conte, isn't he? But I can't see him going, especially if they get in the Champions League.
Well, he's been linked with a Paris job, hasn't he? Apparently he wants that job. But, you just don't know how much of his paper talk at the end of the day. You just don't know if it's rumours or if there's anything to it. But there was some pretty solid rumours.
I can't see Neymar, Messi working for him, running about like he wants people to.
Oh, mate, Messi scored 4 goals this year. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think there's any chance Paris get rid of him? Any chance at all?
No,
he's got to be on $500,000 a week, isn't he?
Same thing with Ronaldo. These type of players that dictate where to go. No, yeah.
But isn't it? I think Mbappe might be out of contract, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Real Madrid bound him.
But then I saw a comment from him the other week, recently, that he is still talking to Paris about staying. And on the 28th of April, so what was that? 2 weeks ago?
It's called negotiations. That's just getting his price up for Real Madrid.
Well, on the 28th of April, Paris Saint-Germain said Pochettino and Kylian Mbappe will 100% be at the club next season. and I'm pretty sure that neither one will. So that kind of tells you can't always trust who's the comments and the quotes which are given by these football clubs. Who do you think then, right? Who's going to be the guy to finally get PSG, like, sort of gel all these world superstars into a team which can win the Champions League? If you had to pick the manager to do it, who would you put there?
Where?
Paris Saint-Germain. So you've got all those world superstars, but no manager seems to be able to gel them enough to compete at the top levels outside of their league. Like if you, so Paris, PSG, they win the leagues, they win the domestic cups, but when it comes to the Champions League, for some reason they just don't seem to be able to get these players who are all superstars.
Yeah, it's because
over the line.
It's because they don't play games enough with high intensity, which it requires at them latter stages. And when you meet a heavyweight, and they're used to it, especially in the Premier League, they're just not used to it.
Well, a lot of people call it a pub league, don't they? Which maybe is a bit disrespectful because you have got a couple of big teams in there, but it's. I don't think it's quite the Scottish Premier League, is it?
It's not Cyprus, is it? Cyprus is the Football League.
Yeah, well, how are was it Apple? Is it Apple Esports? How are they doing?
Who?
What's his face?
Ammonia.
Mm.
Yeah, they're in the final, but they're in the final of their cup.
Oof. So let's do a couple of predictions. Champions League. Man City, Real Madrid. I keep saying Man City. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Champions League final. Here he is on the sofa.
Yeah.
What a beautiful dog. Liverpool versus Madrid. Score prediction. Champions League.
2-1 Liverpool.
Interesting.
I do fancy Madrid, but I'm going to go with me head.
I'm going to go with Madrid on penalties or extra time. Premier League, who will finish fourth, Tottenham or Arsenal?
Tottenham.
Yeah, I think Tottenham too. Who will go down? Burnley, Everton or Leeds? Everton and Burnley both got a game in hand, which is problematic.
Burnley's game in hand is against Tottenham, though.
Yeah, and Everton have got to play Brentford and Palace and Arsenal.
Yeah, but they're both at home, though. The next two games are at home.
Brentford and Palace are home, and then away to Arsenal. Yeah,
so 6 points for Everton, even 4 points, they're safe.
Yeah, they need to make sure they don't want to be going to Arsenal on the last day of the season needing a win.
No, yeah,
because Arsenal are going to need to win as well.
Yeah.
So you think Leeds to go down?
The toss up between Leeds and Burnley. I don't think Everton anymore. I really don't think Everton. I think they've done enough. But Leeds look like they're on a slide, don't they? So I would have to go with Leeds.
Mm. So I mentioned Frank Lampard earlier. We gave him a bit of stick earlier in the season. Didn't think he was necessarily the right man for the job. Do you think he deserves credit now if he keeps him up?
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%, yeah. Because he's never been in this situation before, so he's never experienced a bit. He's doing massive amounts for his confidence and for experience. So, and it only bode well for Everton and for Frank Lampard. So, I'm glad, really, because Everton's a good club and I like Frank Lampard.
He seems like a guy. He does seem like a guy who'd be able to get people on side, get you playing for him. I don't know. He just seems like he's got that type of personality.
He's not stupid.
Likeable.
He's educated. He's been around the game. He's got good people around him. So, and he was a top player. So that always helps.
Indeed, mate. So Everton to go down. Championship playoffs. Who's going to be in the
What? Say that again.
Championship. Who's going to be in the Championship playoff final? So you've got Huddersfield.
Forest, Luton.
So you think it's Forest Luton in the final?
Yeah.
And then who's going to win?
Forest. Head says Forest, heart says Luton.
Yeah, same. Sunderland.
Arsenal playing well here. Pardon?
They've got no pressure on them, have they? They're 3-0 down and down to 10 men. What about Sunderland versus Sheffield Wednesday in the League One playoff final?
Sunderland versus who?
Sorry, not Sheffield Wednesday. Jesus Christ. Wycombe Wanderers. Tricky. I think my head says Sunderland, but my heart definitely says Wycombe, and I've got a feeling Wycombe are going to do them possibly on like extra time or penalties or something like that. So I'm going to go Wycombe with that one. Wycombe Wanderers. Do you reckon?
Sunderland.
Okay, and I was just looking at League Two. Out Newport and Salford City, both of them just completely fell away from the playoffs in the end, didn't they? Right down to so Salford are 10th and Newport 11th. At one point, they were both like in and around the playoffs, towards and pretty, relatively close to the end of the season as well, and they've just completely fallen off a cliff. So I'm so surprised by that because Salford have got to have the biggest budget.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%, yeah. And they sacked the manager, so another sacking.
How many managers have they had in the last
I don't know.
2 years?
Embarrassing, yeah. Monday Night Football, you've got to give managers time. You can't be sacking willy-nilly. You've had to sack 3 managers in a year, can you? Shut up. Do
you think they ever take over themselves, one of them?
Possibly.
Scholes had a go, didn't he, at Oldham for a short period? And
more of a Neville to get his career back in the track after he'd come back to America with his tail between his legs. Because at the minute, the bottom of the league, they're rubbish.
Are they?
Every time we turn it on, it's Miami getting beat. So that's going to run out soon.
So Phil Neville for Salford.
Yeah.
Get your bets in. Get your bets in. And we talked about that manager who'd been accused of racism, who was suspended, and obviously some of the allegations were shocking.
Have you seen an interview? This guy's an idiot.
John Yem's been sacked. The only reason I was a little bit surprised they sacked him was that simply because they initially suspended him and said they would do their investigation, and then a few days later they sacked him. So to me, that either says that there was a lot of evidence and witnesses to what he had done.
He's banged right.
Yeah. So they just said, off you go. We're not even going to let this play out. Shocking, mate. In 2021, to have someone like that behaving like that and it to take so long to come to light is incredible to me. That it took that long for someone. Because, and when I say that long, I mean the instant that he was segregating players by the colour of their skin or their religion or their race or whatever, how has that not come out straight away?
Yeah, dinosaur, it'll all come out and then he'll never be back in the game, so no.
But that's what I'm asking. Like, how come it didn't come out the day it happened, the first day?
Pass, I don't know.
It's got to be, I don't know, like people scared of losing their jobs. I can't even imagine that, because if you come out with an allegation like that, people are going to back you. Like if I'm a player and I come out to BBC or Sky or whoever and I say, I'm not happy because the manager is making all the players of different races change on their own, he's not going to get slated or sacked by his club, is he?
No.
So it's a weird one. I didn't understand why it took so long to come out, if you like.
Yeah, strange. But like I said, I've seen multiple interviews with him. The guy comes across as a clown.
Would you, if you were in charge of whoever makes the decision, FA or whoever, or would you ban him for life now?
Yeah. That's a serious question. That.
No, I know. It's got to ask it, isn't it? But when someone gets banned for life from football,
yeah,
that's all levels of football, isn't it? So it's like, or is it all the way down to amateur level? Because
I'm not sure. But if you're banned from football as a player, then it's all levels. FA, Sunday League, everything.
That's right. Because that's what I'm saying. So, like, say, like, you got banned from playing, like, for Salford
I know mate who got banned for hitting a referee. He got banned for 5 years. He couldn't play football anywhere.
Couldn't even play for his pub side.
But no, nothing.
Yeah, because it's anything which is under the FA, and obviously every football club at different levels is under some sort of FA. Yeah. So you'd think the manager would be the same then, wouldn't it?
You're getting booked and you give that name, well, he's banned, and then you're bang in trouble. So either playing a blank name or just don't play at all. But yeah, so
it's a weird one. Yeah. Like, I think he should absolutely be banned from everything, and I hope he never gets a job in football ever again.
No,
I also hope that he bumps into one of those players who he was calling those names on his way home from the pub one evening.
It's just not worth talking about. The guy's a prick.
Yeah, I'm glad he got sacked, mate. Leslie says, I think Burnley will get 1 point from 9, and I see Leeds beating Brighton on Saturday. That's a shout, man. After Brighton just smashed United 4-0, to go and lose to Burnley would be a disappointing follow-up. But, you never know. Strange results, don't you, at the end of the season. Right, guys, you got any questions? Get them in now.
Because I'm off the today. I'm starving.
Yeah, it's dinner. It's eating time. So, the season is coming to an end, mate. So I think when obviously we'll keep going and through the season and see out the Champions League, and then when the season finishes, I think we said we're going to look into getting a couple of guests on to have a chat with, innit? And obviously we'll be talking, like, the transfer window is going to be mental this year as well. So
transfer window, and then obviously it'll be don't know, it started early in the Premier League because of the World Cup. I
think so. Yeah, they've got it, haven't they? They're not going to be able to fit it all in.
Yeah. But there's pre-season tours. United are in America this year, so there's lots of
to discuss. Yeah. Lots to discuss. I've already put a few little feelers out for guests and stuff as well. So
maybe do it fortnightly, so there's more to talk about. I don't know.
See how it goes, isn't it? I mean, like I said, get some guests on as well.
Yeah,
I think because obviously, a lot of, like, what I found is a lot of the people within the game now, when I've asked them about coming into the studio or coming on the channel or coming on here, they say, oh yeah, I'll do it at the end of the season, because they're still thing and they don't want to talk about it or whatever. So and I'm still working on a couple of interesting things as well. As ever, guys and girls, appreciate you joining us. We will be back next Thursday. I'll be back on Sunday for the fight show. Lots to discuss, as always. But check it out. Check out patreon.com/Ace Podcast Nation as well, please, because it keeps the channel going. Got some exclusive content, including the Derek Brazil football audio show, which is something new, which is starting, among other things. So check that out. Helps keep us going. It's only £3 a month. £3 a month. It's the price of a coffee to help us out. Patreon.com/Ace Podcast Nation. Leslie says, when's the next show? So the next show with Rhodri is Thursday. We have a live boxing and MMA show on Sunday. And of course, we put out a new episode of My Story or an interview or whatever we've recorded on a Tuesday as well. So there's 3 shows a week on the main channel. Just check out the YouTube channel. You'll see them all. Boxer Lloyd Germain is My Story next week. So loads of stuff to go. Guys and girls, it's a pleasure as always. See you later. Have a good one. Good night. God bless.